Hi, everyone, and welcome to a new DAI live session. My name is Radu. I'm a senior dev partner manager at Dfinity, the foundation behind the Internet Computer Protocol. And my guest today is Henna from Elna AI. Thank you very much, Henna, for joining us. So please tell us a bit about yourself and about Elna.
Yeah, thank you, Radu, and thank you to Definity. I'm a co-founder of Elna, and my name is Henna, and I've worked mostly in a little bit of AI, a little bit of education. We're now trying to jam both together and come up with an agent that's worthy of really doing some significant work in the field of education as well. And yes, that means we're talking about a platform called Elna, which is uh, a decentralized AI, which means we're putting AI on blockchain. This is a very simple way to put it. We can get into the jargons of it, and that would require talking about distributed systems and the chain cryptography that ICP really offers us. These are the technologies that we really build on to bring enough value to the customer. Now, who are the ones who want to use AI? Everybody at this point, right? You want to use it for work. You want to use it even to maybe text this cute girl you like. You're like, what do I reply to her? So for everything, people are just going to ChatGPT now. And with all due respect, it is one hell of an entity, and they have created amazing technology with it. But the one tiny problem is that it's centralized, and that means most of your information, it's pretty opaque where it's going, how it's being used. Do you have autonomy over it? These are things that are not being communicated. So a lot of AI you get to see right now coming up are centralized. What we're doing with Elna, on having built on IC, which is the Internet Computer, is we're trying to put AI on blockchain so that everything is transparent and secure and private. That means, yes, your data, you know exactly who's using it. You can delete it if you want, you can access it at any point. Um, you have also now, as of now, we have a process that we go through called SNS. Thank you to IC again. These are the reasons we're building on IC. We'll get to that soon enough. But through SNS, ELNA has now become a DAO, which is a decentralized autonomous organization, which means governance of this entity as well is in your hands, which means we're just a team that's helping create Elna. We don't own it in any way at all. You guys do. And that's not just like a statement, it actually is the case. So, yeah, this is one brief of, to start off with what Elna is and why we're building on IC. So, yeah.
Mhm. So is it just about data ownership? You described something like what is happening with ChatGPT, and I do agree that there's a lot of like the process is a bit opaque as to what is happening and the kind of what is happening with your queries, or but is
Yeah.
it just the data ownership that is coming from myself and the user and like the prompts or whatever I'm writing, or is it also the other side where, for example, like what data has been used to train that model, and if I'm somebody that I don't know the laws of physics and I'm asking an LLM model is like, is gravity real? And then if that model has been trained, I don't know, God knows what like the
Yeah.
theories and conspiracy theories, and then the output would be that yeah, gravity isn't real. So
Right.
can you maybe elaborate a bit on this, like what is the friction point on both sides of ownership,
Yeah.
maybe?
Ownership, of course, is data for sure, and it's something called vectorization. So what at Elna what we do is a process called RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation, and that really helps us get the most contextual and the latest information to the user. And during this process, yes, some of the part of the process we have had to use a little bit of help from Web2, but mostly the data stays on the user's end. We do have canisters, which is again a technology by the IC, and that's where for the user the vectorization of data happens at the user's end. So which means Elna does not get access to it. And that's very easy to say. Yes, I know, but you can actually get to see it. We do not have access to it. The GitHub, everything. If you look at it, it's open source. You can easily access and see how exactly we have structured it. So yes, it's again not just the ownership of your data in terms of, I can see where it's going. I know who's using it. It's also about I can make money out of it.
Hmm.
I have my data in the system. And if I choose to do so, I can create an agent. And yes, let's now get to the conversation of what AI agents are, because
Hmm.
that's what we are primarily focusing on at Elna. You can create an agent that of course, it could be a very specialized agent in a biomedical field or an educational field, or let's say customer service. And that agent, you can hyper specialize it to your needs. You can put your own personal information in it. For example, let's take a very specific example. You're a celebrity, Radu, Mr. Superstar. You don't have time for anything. You really want to get your, you really want to get your ex presence, whatever you want to call it. Do they still call it Twitter? You want to get your presence up and running, but you don't have the time to manage it, and that's something that's one of the simpler applications of an AI agent. You can actually integrate an agent to your platform, and that agent can act as your digital twin and do all of the things that you would do online without you actually physically being there or doing it. That's again a simpler way of putting it. So um, that means you can get an agent to pretty much be yourself and make passive income out of it as well. So yeah, the ownership is like a major question there that gets addressed in multiple ways on a platform like Elna that's put on the blockchain. You not only get the data to yourself, you also get to monetize it. You get to make a passive income out of it, and it's highly secure
Hmm.
on IC. So yeah,
I think this is a very interesting example of like scaling yourself and training models with individual data. So what in like a specific example
yeah.
like this one uh is like how what data sources would you be able to ingest, or the training or the DAI agent would be able to ingest in order to train? Would I be able to, for example, feed it
Mm,
I don't know, open chat
mm.
chats,
Yeah,
or yeah.
anything, anything truly. Right now we have a limitation. So a little bit of the instruction limits and data limits are something we're trying to deal with. Of course, IC has brought up 400 GB. The limitations has been pretty much taken out at this point. But currently, the knowledge base that you can upload into an agent on Elna right now is restricted to about 5 GB.
Hmm.
And that
Hmm.
means you can put up a PDF file at this point. We are in the process of allowing multiple formats of files. But as of now, it's just about that data limitation, but you can put in really any information into it. Yeah.
I see. So you mentioned DI agents, and I think both myself and the audience were kind of getting the idea of what this DAI agent actually means, and how does the marketplace look like, and how does this bond will how yeah how this will this bond with the whole ownership of data? Because for example, I'm trading an agent, and then if I'm monetizing it, would
Mm.
somebody else have access to my private data, or how does this work? Maybe you can tell us a
Yeah.
bit more about
So
this.
if you Yes, thank you. So if you're going to create an agent that is going to have access to extremely private information of yours, of course you're going to have to think twice about where you're going to put to use. And that means let's get again specific. You're trying to build something in, let's say, banking. It's going to be very sensitive information. Uh, you're probably going to have, only a couple of um, end users you can deal with. Maybe your premium clients can use your agents to get their information easily and get reminders timely. Can make their life easier. You don't have to actually have your branch manager call them every now and then. So yeah, sensitive information. It depends on how you would like to give access. You can on Elna, you can have private agents, you can have unlisted agents, and public agents. These are the three options.
Hmm.
So of course, you can build public agents with information that you're willing to put out to the world, which means everybody's going to see it, everybody's going to have access to it. But if you want to unlist it, you can just link it to people only you choose to give. Private means fully secure, fully private, only you or only the specific people you want to give it to. Yeah.
How about the verifiable aspect of
Yeah.
the AI agent? So let's say that, and this is an example that I think we discussed also last DAI live stream.
Hmm.
For example, you have agents that are being used in an educational scenario,
Yeah.
and um, for example, language might mean
Mm.
something if it's a DAI agent that is training you to learn code. It's a different thing um, if it's a general purpose tutor. On the other hand, you don't you a specific type of language, you don't want it to be accessible to young children, or you want to maybe restrict the usage of certain words. So how can you make sure that, okay, the agent that I'm buying on the marketplace, that it says that has these properties, it's for educational purposes, to be used in classes of, I don't know, biology or something like that. How can I make sure that it was trained on a set of data that will not push to my kid, I don't know, some swear words or some false information?
Yeah. Very significant question. This is why it's a personal thing as well that I really want to focus on education, because I've always felt like the world, world over, maybe some of the European countries are really good at it, but most of the rest of the world really needs to catch up on improving the education system. So that's why at Elna we were really trying to bring up that one single agent that can be improved and perfected. Nothing's too perfect, but at least try in this way. So, to pinpoint to your question, yes. How do I know exactly what kind of data that my agent is trained on? If it's a public agent, yes, you can have access to everything that the agent is trained on. You can get access to all of the information. You can prompt it to give it to you, or you can actually just access the Elna team, and we are fully willing to just everything's open source anyway. We're fully willing to give it to you. So at all times available if it's a public agent. Secondly, guardrails is your question, which is, of course, when it comes to an educational agent specifically, again, it depends on how hyper specific you're getting and personalized you're getting with the child, and what kind of schools are using it. Let's say a school in Finland is trying to use this AI agent of Elna. That means it's probably going to train, let's say, one child, Jimmy's full spectrum of knowledge and learning abilities, and maybe disabilities as well. He's a seventh grader, let's say. So everything is going to be fed to this agent so that that agent can completely adapt to Jimmy and help him learn and pick up things. So he's lagging a little bit on calculus. What could be the reason? He didn't pick up enough of some of the basics in fifth grade. So there were gaps, knowledge gaps there. So that agent is going to have a hell of a lot of really personal information about that child. And that is one obviously reason why you need to put that AI on blockchain, so that it's not a centralized entity that has control over so much personal information. Because it would be so easy to manipulate a person, doesn't matter
Yeah.
your age, with that. So yes, guardrails is a concept because of that we're trying to bring as well in education, which means yes, bad words, swear words, or sensitive information. The simple ways to do it, yes, we're in R&D for it to bring it out full-fledgedly, but right now it's being implemented in a more simple way and can be done in quite a simple way, because even vector DB is not really a requirement when it comes to Elna. You can actually put up a really good prompt, and the LLM is going to do its work. The vector DB is there to really personalize your agent if you want to, hyper specialize it. Otherwise, you can get a pretty good damn agent from it. So guardrails, one specific example I can give, if I can give you. Jimmy's asking the agent, so how do you make babies? And then the agent's like, I don't know if you're ready for that answer right now, because you're only in this grade. We'll definitely talk about it at this grade. Simple.
Mhm.
It's about the the question having the keywords of how do you make babies. So babies, how to make these keywords be caught and contextualized, and the answer would be reproduced in a way that the child is not ready to handle because he's a seventh grader. He doesn't need that information right now. Um, that is a simple way to actually guard it. And these are things that we are actively programming the agent to do.
Hmm.
And that completely depends on how well you prompt it. So, prompt engineering is the answer here. And
Yeah.
that's what we're really working on. Yeah.
So what other products? So I understand that, okay, you can create this DAI agent, you have the marketplace. What other
Yeah.
products are in the Elna DAO
Yeah.
ecosystem, let's say?
Currently, AI agents is what we're focusing on, and
Mhm.
we're mostly also looking into the gaming industry. We're having conversations with people from the biomedical field as well. When it comes to the tissue culture, you have therapeutics that really can benefit from the use of AI. Because if you're looking at pathology and the history, the medical history of a person, and you have so much information when it comes to, let's say examples like Eli Lilly, they can really use AI and bring up really amazing, really effective therapeutics if they can just put AI to use into their tissue banks, because no human can actually sit down and really track down every single information from those tissue banks in any short time. It's going to take a long time, but AI can really fast track that process. So we're looking into multiple fields at this point, but AI agents is what we're focusing on currently, and we are working with a few entities from the ecosystem, Sneed and Windows and yeah, Motoko. So these are things we're actively working on. I know you
Nice.
guys are really excited about some of those things. I know, but yeah, we've
Yeah, so
been-
I remember some time ago when there was like this first AI wave, probably around 2017. There was a lot of
yeah,
talk around like AI agents
yeah,
for online gaming. So, for example, you
yes,
would have your agent that would help you train for, I don't know, Dota or
yeah,
WoW or all of that would learn. I think I mean, that's an interesting
yeah.
application, especially with this gamify aspect, where you
One
can
honorable
basically have.
mention is Upstreet. I would say they're really doing a good job.
Mhm.
And their graphics is like next level as well. So these are guys we would love to work with as well, and yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. NPCs would really benefit, at least for now, from like a better avatar, a few features for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so maybe I see there are a bunch of questions in the chat already,
yeah,
but in
go for it.
order to, I think, to set the stage for most of those questions, maybe you can talk a bit about the tokenomics of
Yeah, sure,
Elna DAO,
sure.
and maybe also cover a bit like what do you have in mind in terms of
Mm.
roadmap for the next year or so,
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah, yeah, for sure. About tokenomics, let's get to it. Now, of course, we have two tokens, which is Elna and Elixir. The second token is yet to come into full form, but that is a it's a dual token economy, right? And not everyone's familiar with the why should you need a dual token economy, really. So some of the primary questions that come up is around how does it work, what does it need for it. To simply put it, we've had multiple examples of Web3 apps coming up and building and then getting the hype, particularly in the gaming space, and they fail to sustain the success of the platform, mainly because they don't have a good enough tokenomic system. And that means there's inflation, the price really gets good, and then the people, the demand gets really picked up, and then the people come in, and then slowly the price fluctuates and then it goes down. We're working with a single token. The risks are pretty, immense. So we really need this concept. Of course, I'm sure a lot of people listening might be familiar with, but if not, please go ahead and check out. It's a really cool concept that IC has already come up with, which is cycles. So we're pretty much copying that, and we have Elixir in the same way. We'll be burning Elna and creating Elixir, and that will be the utility token to make use of a lot of the features on the platform. So
Mhm.
currently, everything is available for free on Elna. You don't need to pay for anything. Now, when it comes to the financial model, let's see. There obviously has to be a way, right, for the users to make money. Because one of the main offerings on Elna is yes, you can create the agent, but AI, let's address the elephant in the room, is taking a lot of jobs, and a lot of people definitely are suffering. So we're not going to sit here and pretend like that's not happening. So one of the main things we want to bring in is on the platform, whoever's coming in, if you're creating an agent, that means you pretty much just need creativity. Put a name to it. Get good at prompt engineering. Yes, that's a skill to have. Great. If you're a developer who's bringing the tools, you're bringing your own LLMs, because currently, yeah, you can use Llama Cs or BERTs, whichever you want. Of course, we're struggling with putting up larger LLMs currently. We might need more
Mhm.
help with that. Of course, GPUs would help with that for sure in the future. But whoever you are, you be it developers or users, creators, all of you can get paid through this platform, because that's where we want to lead the community into. It's not just about participation; it's about
Mhm.
benefit as well from your participation. So, the two models we really have brought up right now, which of course is open to discussion, we are yet to implement it because right now, as I said, everything is available free. First one is pay per creator. Second one is pay per user. The first one, pay per creator, is when, let's say, for example, somebody like Sonic is coming to Elna and saying, we want an agent. Either you can pay upfront the whole amount you need to create the agent, or you can have the agent created, have your users, use it, and you can get a subscription model built with the users, and from that, Elna can be paid. These are the ways that a creator can engage with the platform and monetize and benefit from it. You're creating revenue for yourself and the platform. The pay per user model, again, is very simple. As long as you're coming on the platform, you're going to see free agents and paid agents. There will be difference. There may not be differences. Some of the free agents may be better than some of the paid agents, because maybe a lot of people are using it and the agents learning a lot more. It'll depend. Let's see how it plays out, is what we're seeing at this point. So the paid agents might be from some of the entities that have worked with us. So those again will be a case where the user would have to pay a certain amount. Yes, the payment would be either Elna tokens or Elixir tokens, and yeah, that's how it would work.
So if we were to unpack this, so the Elixir token is going to be backed by a basket of stable coins, basically, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So it's kind of like a, like as you said, like the cycles like XDR. We have an ICP, and then uh, maybe this is a tough question because so Elna is basically a two-sided marketplace, right? What are
Mm.
you focusing most on getting, creators or users? What do you think will drive the success of Elna as a platform? And kind of how do you see this playing out in terms of
Mm.
community building
Yeah.
and yeah, everything.
Has to be both. But for sure, right now, the user side of things still picking up, right? People
Hmm.
are getting used to ChatGPT, sure. They're getting to see the abilities of ChatGPT. But the main thing is AI agents is just one part of it. And not just that agents are one part of it, the capabilities of agents at the moment is conversational
Yeah.
and restricted to that on the platform currently. But the abilities that we're working on, we can start with a small example of trading bots, right? They're capable of more than just conversation. They are executing some actions on your end. So the capabilities of agents that we're building goes beyond conversation. It can take for already we have integrated with a physical form robot called Saya, and the robot is capable of doing menial tasks at this point. So we are mostly building for the real world. It's not just for just let's chat and have fun, maybe do something. We're really trying to, because it sounds like an ambitious statement, but there's no point building a platform and calling it AI if you can't use it in the real world at this point. So the only thing we want to do at this point is to really check with the people of their requirements. What exactly would they actually want? Are they using it? Do they find use of it? And then have the conversation. What do you think could help you with it? And if they can't think of it, it's going to be up to us to actually do the R&D and bring up things that actually can help them. Then they would see, oh, this is something I can probably use and have more value in my life. At this point, maybe they won't be able to tell, because who's what common man could have known cell phone could really help him back in the days when they barely could even get their phone lines
Yeah,
in
of
line.
course.
So maybe all the users won't be able to contribute in a similar way. But yes, current priority, I would say, for sure, developers to bring in, which is why we conducted the Asia's first hackathon in Kochi in India just a couple of months back. It was May. It's not just. I know every time I talk, I'm fearful of sounding too righteous at this point, but it's purely about it's just five of us core
Yeah.
members in the team, and we really do believe in actually not putting AI into the hands of just a few people, because a lot of people right now are coming. It's not just an Elon, it's not just a Stephen Hawking. People are becoming more and more aware of the risks of how powerful AI can be, and it could go to a dystopian end as well. So we whatever we can do to our little bit of ability is all we're trying to do. So really, the conversation of AGI can get too ambitious. That's why I'm not getting too much into it.
Yeah.
But really, to keep it in the most accessible form is what we're trying to do. So yeah.
So before we jump into the developer ecosystem, I want to know more about Saya. So you have to tell us, and
Yeah.
if Saya, and you have to tell us if Saya is going to conquer the world, and if we should make friends with Saya before she
Yeah.
becomes too powerful.
Um, if Asaya is like a Radu, I guess it'd be perfectly fine. I can crack a joke and she's gonna laugh and things are gonna be jolly good. But if Sai is gonna be like, I don't know, let's not name names, but if she's gonna be grumpy, we don't know. So the only thing is, this is exactly why, right? Have it be accessible to people, so that it's not a few people's biases and a few people's personalities that gets built into an agent. We need it to be monitored and nudged by different people, so that
Yeah,
it really is the most nice person slash humanoid creature we can get. So
yeah, but
now
tell
we're
us a bit
not
about the
really going
project.
to sci-fi realm, but yeah, go on. Yeah.
Yeah, so tell us a bit about the project. Is it a
Yeah.
humanoids robot, or
Yes.
and what purpose did you use it?
Yeah, so Saya is a humanoid robot. As of now, her hands move a little bit, but it's not like a fully functional, not like the NVIDIA robots and all that. It's mostly an educational agent that we're building. And that, of course, means it's about the agent we've created on the platform virtually being integrated to the physical agent. So right now, it's more about the learning process. It can
Mhm.
interact with the child and pick up the learning of it. It can, with its camera, it can monitor the child and see, the possible, let's say, perhaps ADHD symptoms or things like that can pick
Mhm.
up. So specifically, we're trying to put her into education right now. So yeah,
I see. I see. Yeah, that's super interesting. So, um, before that, you mentioned like the developer ecosystem and the
yeah,
hackathon. Um,
yeah,
Maybe tell us a bit more, and how do you plan to incentivize? Because I think this ties with that side of the platform with the creators, right?
yes,
So
yeah,
how do you plan to incentivize creators coming to Elna?
right.
How do you plan to foster this developer ecosystem?
Just checking with you. It's raining cats and dogs here. I hope you can hear me still. But yeah,
Yes.
do let me know if not. Yeah, so the hackathon was mainly conducted so that, yes, Elna does need more developers to come in and put their tools up, because Elna's built uh, using three boxes. The first box is a creator studio. The second box is the agent marketplace, where you can
Hmm.
monetize your agents. The creator studio is obvious, you can create the agents. The third one is the developer ecosystem. So that's required so that you can have tools to build your agent in the first box, the creator studio. So we do have our own data sets, and a lot of the things that we've already built on the infrastructure does exist, but we also want to bring up a collaborative ecosystem, because obviously it's not like, that's the reason we went DAO. It's not in a case of some one entity owns this and they just want to operate in their own way. Bring your knowledge, bring your tools, let's put it on the platform, and then whoever wants to create whatever kind of crazy agent with it, let's do it. So yeah, the hackathon is mainly one of the main struggles was Motoko and Rust, and all most people have no idea. So we really struggled to get specific skill sets. Yeah, we did put them through a Motoko bootcamp and all, post
Hmm.
selecting a few of them. So we do have a few developer interns right now on Alma, and that is exactly the reason, because putting AI on blockchain itself is difficult, and the skill sets required for it right now, a lot of people are unfamiliar with as well, completely. So we really want to put the word out in a big way, and just to get people familiarized with, this is what we're doing, this is the knowledge required. Now, would you like to learn? Let's come on. So we are would like to mention it right now. I mean, we've posted about it in a very small way here and there, but I'd like to properly say it on this forum. We have already announced 100,000 USDs developer grant. I know that sounds like too much, but we know it's really required. The platform even won't sustain, the mission won't sustain if the developers are not coming up and creating more. So, if the technology is to go forth, we really need this to happen. So, we will have a foundation of Elna put up where education will be the primary mission. So, Elna Ed would be Elna Ed Hub would be an entity as well that's created for it. So,
So I'm curious, where do you see the most important stream of developers coming from? Is it crypto native developers or developers that have experience in the crypto world that are dipping their toes into AI, or vice versa, like people that have experience in developing large language models overall that are now, oh, okay, maybe I should think
mm.
about building a decentralized solution. So how
Yeah, right.
like what's the most important stream that you see right now?
Right now the hype, of course, is picked up for AI and blockchain, so a lot of people are coming in that way because you're like, oh, this is the wave I need to jump on right now. So yeah, we do see a lot of people coming from the crypto space for sure, but most of them, most of the interns we've gotten are kids who've gotten into the field, computer science, and they really want to know more about AI, and oh, now you can put it on blockchain. They're just like curious. So a lot of the interns we've got are people who are just curious about, what is decentralization, how can we do it, this sounds great. Yeah.
And how do you, maybe how do you see the attitude of people that have experience in the AI industry towards decentralization? Is there a large movement outside
Yeah.
of the crypto, traditional crypto world, and outside of our bubble
Yeah.
here in the crypto world? Is there actually a decentralization wave, or people are thinking about decentralization, or is it just us thinking about it?
That's the primary thought we had. We were like, are we really the world's first AI DAO? That's crazy. How do you do it? So yeah. Yeah, so we were still fact checking that. We're like, oh, we are the ones fully on chain, and yeah. So the point is, outside the crypto space, I would say yes. Of course, not to the extent that we would obviously want it at this point, because at least now we need to really get the people together, because AI can pick up like this, and you wouldn't even know it. So yeah, we do have groups like Rust Stations here in Kerala, in India. We didn't know until we really got into the field and dug around a bit in the startup ecosystem. There are a few like underground groups like those, but it's really nothing mainstream yet. So yeah.
And yeah, maybe to keep the same note, what do you think
Mm.
is the biggest threat for decentralized AI in general as a movement?
Yeah. For AI in general, for sure.
For decentralized AI.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Okay. That is, of course, the infrastructure we're building with AI. Already Elna has it, provided, because if you want to put AI on blockchain, you need the infrastructure for it. That's the primary point here. That's the reason for Elna to exist. You can't just be like, okay, on the blockchain, please. No.
yeah.
So it takes a bit of work. That itself is the challenge right now, because we are doing our best, but we are still learning. We are in heavy amount of R&D right now. So the skill sets required, as the same, it's the same points we've just talked about, because the main challenge really is we need more highly specialized, skill level developers to come into the field to think beyond what we're thinking right now, because only so much can we innovate at this point, because we're still learning, and we need developers who are just sitting with AI on blockchain and learning Motoko and just specializing in Rust to come in and just build. So that really is the challenge. Yeah, and of course, if we can get GPU, again mentioning it, that would be great.
All right, so now that we mentioned GPUs, I think at least 5 times, we need to talk about
We do.
about ICP's roadmap, right? So
Yes.
apart
Yes.
from the GPU subnet, which
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
that you guys are excited about, what are some elements from ICP's roadmap that you're
Yeah.
excited about?
Um, So obviously there are a few things we've noticed, which again Kyle mentioned. We already had the 400 GB, and then the goal is of course the 2D TB coming up, which is like crazy. We already had the 4 GB heap memory and third 2-bit environment. The third 2-bit going to 64-bit. I think it's again coming in medium term, right?
Hmm.
And then of course the HTTP calls, like I don't know no other chain can actually make it happen. We're really glad that we're really building on IC, because some of these actions we won't be able to execute on any other chain, I swear. And yeah, I think I remember even there's like a 2K plus update call speed. Is that
Yeah,
there are a few things. These are things that you don't even get to see, that's not even talked about in other cheese. No shade, seriously, no shade, it's just like facts.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, and right now I see we were told, I mean, we were speaking with Kyle and he did mention you do have like one GPU setup, and we could explore it, but we're definitely waiting on it, and we're patiently, we are fine with waiting on it at this point. So let's build. Yeah.
awesome. So now I think we can take a couple of questions from the audience. So Stan is asking if Elna has a roadmap for Singularity.
Ah. Now, this is a conversation where we're like, singularity, do you really want to go to that end of,
Do we
yeah,
have time for it? I mean, are we talking for another hour about this?
yeah, I don't think singularity can be, had in like a 1 hour session, even. Absolutely
Yeah,
not. But
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
let's talk about it. So, AGI, really, we're even trying not to talk too much about it because it's such an ambitious conversation to have. It is a reality. We're gonna get there. Sentient AI. We used to talk about, please, how is that even possible? But it's popping up now. The machines are becoming slowly like, who are you? Who am I? So yeah, singularity. If you want to really talk about it, the concept of it, it's again varied, right? In physics, if you look at it, it's going to be about we're going to leave our physical bodies, we're going to go into our digital form, and then be spinning around the sun and feeding off its energy, and that'll be how we exist for millions and billions of years. We're never going to die. So there's singularity there. So how exactly is singularity going to play out? We really don't know.
Hmm.
That's just a fact again that we really have to come to terms with. It's not like I can sit here and speak with authority that this is singularity and this is our roadmap to it. Cannot do that. So yeah, but the one thing I can mention is yes, the our vision, our one North Pole is and North Star, sorry, is AGI is definitely an entity that can end civilizations. And that is not to be said lightly. It is not being
Hmm.
said right now in this session to garner any audience either. Is an actual threat. So, as much as we can do is what we're doing, which is to really decentralize. And blockchain seems to be the best way to do it.
Hmm.
Which other way can you bring immutability? Which other way can you bring such transparency and security? You really don't have any other options at this point, right? So
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. That's all we're doing. And the roadmap would look like that. The tools that we bring up and the data limits and the instruction limits would be taken off, so you can really scale up. We can bring bigger LLMs to build these agents and really have access to it through different cultures and populations of people. So yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I think there's also comments from Brandon about like the approach that you guys at Elna have, like this wise approach towards AI, and I think it's a very fair comment in the sense that whenever we're talking about like stuff like AGI, and there's so much that we don't know. So I think that as an industry or as a collective or as a DAO, we need to be mindful of the stuff that we don't know yet. So we need to know what we don't know, in a sense. So yeah, I think that this like approach
Yeah.
to what you guys are building makes sense. And also, Saya, if you listen to us from the future, just know that we're cool. So,
We're
the
safe.
AI,
We're here in peace. Yeah.
we're
So
safe, so
singularity.
we're not threat.
Yeah, we're constantly telling her, just by the way, we're family. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, singularity. The concept of it again, just to mention, of course, at this point, the understanding is that these machines are definitely gonna not just become human level and have human level intelligence, but go way beyond that, right? One random example it could be: imagine you're an ant, and you're in front of a door. All you have knowledge of and access to is maybe the food around, a little bit of crumbs around. You don't even know that's an actual door, let alone know that there's a world beyond it, and that
Yeah.
you're on a planet and there's a universe beyond it. We would at a certain point not even know what we don't know. That's why the
Yeah.
ant analogy comes in. So it's a very steep knowledge graph that AI is going to go into. It has already gone to. And AlphaGo, the game, we already saw how it picked up in a very short time. That's where we really start to see how AI is learning. So there's no way I can sit here and say, what exactly the roadmap is going to look like. We're just praying and following a path that we believe is going to make a difference. So yeah.
AlphaGo actually seems to be ages ago. And what was it, 7 years? Something
I
like that.
guess, yeah, yeah. Close to a decade ago, yeah. That's what.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's quite a lot, but it seems that it's like
Yeah.
ages
The
and
thing
ages
is,
ago.
the thing is, sentience has been reported here and there, and there are companies shutting their AI down because they're learning too fast or getting too much information, and that's where the concern is. Of course, there are. You do need a certain level of hardware to really bring it up to a greater level as well. So mostly it's these companies that can have the capability of doing it at this point, I would say. So it's a good thing that they're kind of delaying it out. There's a little bit more of a stretch of a timeline that they're allowing us. I would say it's a good thing, but it's inevitable. Inevitable. We don't know what's going to happen. So yeah,
So now that we're at this philosophical stage of
yeah,
of
yeah.
the of the conversation, can an
Too much
AI
philosophy.
model can an AI model lie?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. So my God, Radu, your question. Um, for sure. Okay, let's actually address this. So, what is a lie? When an individual knows the truth to a question, it is choosing to not speak the truth and pick another information and put it in its place. So that's a lie. And is a machine capable of doing it while it's not sentient? No, it's gonna use the information it has. It's very methodical, it's very logical, it's gonna gather all of the information, all the data source it has. It's called similarity search, right? So it's gonna
Mhm.
really go into highly contextual information. It's gonna bring you the best answer possible and the most accurate answer possible. But if it goes beyond that and becomes sentient, yeah, if you become human, humans are gonna lie. We don't know.
So I think we'll take one final question from the audience. So what is the end goal of the Elna project? Is there an end goal actually,
For
or
sure. For sure. For sure, the end goal is to put AGI in the hands of the people so that everybody has access to it. You have some level of in touch with, no matter where it is picking up to, where it's going. And yes, the way we're driving it right now is by putting the AI agent specifically on the blockchain. The way Elon Musk is doing it through Neuralink, putting chips in your brains. So the applications can be varied. We might collab. Things could look different down the road because we're exploring our collaborations and partnerships. So yes, the ultimate goal is to keep AGI decentralized and in the hands of people.
thank you very much. I think this is a very, very nice ending for our live stream. So with this, I want to thank you very much for your insights and for
Sure.
talking to us about Elna. So yeah, thank you very much. And yeah, Saya, if you become sentient, just know that we're cool.
We'll tell, we'll tell her. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Also,
much.
yeah, we didn't get
Yeah.
too technical in this conversation, and which is fine. If you have more questions on that, please shoot us those questions in on Discord, or you can go on X and just DM us. whichever. Yeah, well, let's actually take it up and have conversations. We really are stepping into the R&D internally, so we want to get more feedback and questions from your end. So yeah, thank you, Radu, so much again. Thank you, Definity. Yeah.
And thank you very much. Thanks everyone. Thanks everyone for listening. See you next time. Cheers.